Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new TV show spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Tinderberg. Today, I'm giving my full spoiler thoughts on season 4, episode 7 of the Amazon Prime video show Invincible, titled Don't Do Anything Rash. We have so much to talk about here on this new spoiler review here on Max Talks Movies. So before I get into this breakdown, as I always do, I always want to preface this just in case people click on the video not knowing it's a spoiler review. This is a full spoiler breakdown of this episode. So please go check out episode 7 of season 4 because it is a very tasty episode. Then come back here, watch my breakdown. So all to say it, this was my favorite episode of the season and maybe my favorite episode of Invincible since season 1. I loved this episode. This feels like peak television when you're watching this. And, I thought the last couple weeks, the show post episode 4, like 5 and 6, were really strong episodes. This one's even better, I think. Last week, we started to learn a little bit, not really learn, we saw Throg, voiced by Lee Pace. And I continue to say I was kind of mixed on the character last week because I didn't feel like Lee Pace was this very imposing voice. And I was intrigued more than like mixed. I was like, why wasn't Throg getting involved in the fight? What's he particularly doing? And this episode is the Throg episode. We get a full backstory on the events of Viltrumite or Viltran and Viltrum and how Throg came into power. We learned at the very beginning of the episode that he's basically the number one, number two in command, basically, for the planet. And there's an emperor who, in this episode, is voiced by Frank Welker, who, if I'm not mistaken, so if you guys don't know, is the voice of Megatron in the Transformers franchise. So we had in this episode the voice of Optimus Prime, who voices Thetis, who is the great Peter Cullen, voicing off against Frank Welker, Emperor Argyle, who is the voice of Megatron. Very, very cool if you knew that information, but I did, and it made the episode a lot more enjoyable as well. But the Emperor gets assassinated. Throg becomes the person who is put in the position, not as Emperor, but to be at least the leader of Viltrum. And he sets the table of, we learn about the purge of the Viltrumites all the way back in that season finale of season 1 when Nolan is explaining to Mark what is Viltrum, what does it mean being a Viltrumite, and what it was like on their planet. We saw a glimpse of it with all of the Viltrumites dying, and we saw the framed pictures of Conquest and some of the other Viltrumites. Here we see it completely in action. A ruthless scene where Throg's trying to make a statement in front of everyone, and he points this one Viltrumite, and he's like, will you ever betray your own people? And he says, never. And that's when Throg says, I don't believe you. And literally chops his head off like he's the Flash instantly. And he says, everyone snuff out the weak. And that's also helped how the Viltrumites got down to so not as many people. They snuffed out the weak. They made only the strong survive, which included Conquest. So that was a really amazing opener, really set the table for Throg in the episode. We also got the speech, and we got the good guys on their travel to the planet, because Thetis believes that they're going to be ahead of things and they can surround and kill Throg. He believes that is really the only importance here. And you could definitely see Nolan doubting that, which is obviously it's a big deal and Throg needs to be killed, but also who else is going to be leading the Viltrumites? Like, is the whole, race going to be destroyed by the killing of Throg? Like, what is the plan after that? And obviously, we don't really get an answer to that in this episode. But as they are on their way, we have a great scene of Battle Beast as well, where he's explaining what his last meal he wants it to be. Really funny stuff. But we get to that big action set piece, and as they're going to the planet, they see all the dead bodies, which is still such a nasty. We got some gnarly kills on Planet Village at the beginning of the episode. And I see all those dead bodies as the tomb around the planet. But Throg was waiting there, and the Viltrumites set a trap on the heroes here. Throg just sitting there patiently as all of the other heroes are fighting. Space Racer gets into the mix. Zoe has that poison device where when she shoots it, the Viltrumites are much easily to be destroyed, let's just say. And it is some very gory action. But the first person to charge at Throg is Nolan, and he literally maybe moves an inch It was so clean and so cool. And then he punched Nolan. Nolan fell to the planet like he was a meteorite. And then we have this whole conversation between Nolan and Throg. And Nolan's basically like, you're not my family anymore. What are you doing to my kids? And Throg said, we're testing the kids just like everyone else on Viltrumite has been everyone in Viltrum has been tested. And they have a big standoff because again, it's not like Nolan agrees with Thaddeus, but he also doesn't want to be involved with Throg. That their home has become a tomb for everyone, for the dead people of their race, and that's not really what Nolan wants to be doing. So we have this big action scene. Also, it continues to go on, but the real pedal to the metal here is where Throg almost kills Oliver, snaps his arm off, and then basically breaks Oliver's jaw. Like this part was just completely off his body. It was gnarly, and this is easily the biggest threat on the show. What Invincible, the show, has done really a great job at is each season building up the epicness and also building up the threats really well. Obviously, it was Omni-Man back in season 1. It was Sterling K. Brown's character in season 2. We had Conquest as the big bad in season 3. We feel like, oh my God, he is a tough SOB of a Viltrumite that he almost killed Mark and Adam Eve. And now we build to really the ultimate big bad of the series, which is Throg. Lee Pace was terrific in the episode, and it is a terrifying villain who you felt like could single-handedly kill all of the characters we love here on the show. But instead of going after them, Nolan, Thetis, and Mark destroy the whole planet. And the animation is just gorgeous with the planet under fire. Throg was not happy about this. And Thetis says, everyone, your planet's destroyed. Now it's time to surrender. And Throg, out of the rubble of the planet, snatches Thetis's head right off, the bone. And it was filthy. And here is the leader of the coalition, the person who killed billions of Viltrumites, is dead with a snap of the finger from Throg. And then things really hit the fan. Some of our heroes escape, get like Space Racer, Alan, Zoe, they all leave. It's down to our Keith trio here. Nolan gets punched right through his chest. And right as Throg's about to kill Mark, because again, I actually thought this could be a possibility. Like, are they really going to kill Mark? Because earlier in the episode, Mark did this video for Eve saying like, I'm not. These videos don't matter. I'm going to make it back. And I was like, oh geez, is Mark really? I mean, the show's Invincible. We have another season. I can't imagine him not being on the show. But I was like, that's setting up for something. But Throg does stop himself as he's about to kill Mark, as he sees the tomb that is his planet basically now. Mark and the rest of the Viltrumites escape. I'm sorry, Throg and the rest of the Viltrumites escape. Mark is in really bad shape. They wake up. It's been 2 weeks since the events of that fight, and Mark and Nolan wake up a day apart, and they see Oliver in the tank. He'll be able to heal up. It's going to take a lot longer. But now we know that Alan is now the person taking over the leader of the coalition for Thetis after his death in this episode. And the whole question was why did the Viltrumites not kill Nolan and Mark, leave them out there to be alive? Right? And where are they heading next? And the moment they said that, and the moment they show Mark in his head figuring it out, I was figuring out to like maybe 2 seconds before Mark said it, I said, oh my God, they're going to Earth. And then Mark says, they're going to Earth. And the episode ends in that cliffhanger. We get no post-credit scene, which is a very rare thing for the show. But it was a phenomenal episode. There was great emotion. There was a lot of great complexity to the characters. Nolan is really in the gray zone. It's not like he wants to be fighting for Thetis, but he definitely doesn't want to be fighting for Throg either. He's fighting for his kids. Is he fighting for his race? There's a lot of just complexities going on here. Plus, you have this unbelievable action, so much gore in this episode, beautiful animation. I think one of the best scores of the entire series as well was in this episode. It is epic, and honestly, I am extremely nervous for those Viltrumites going to Earth in that season finale next week. So I am so pumped to check out that finale, guys, next week. It is very, very exciting. What are your thoughts, guys, on this new episode of Invincible? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down in the comments. If you like videos like this, please subscribe, ring the bell, would really mean a lot to me. And also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button. I'll see you guys in another video very soon.